Good morning, everyone. Earthy Wise Woman here, and today I want to talk about certain candle trends that are starting. I'm sure the word starting is a good one, but it is something that has always been with us. I remember when I was a child, my grandmother told me that even though colored candles were around, sometimes they couldn't afford them. Not in a metaphysical setting, they couldn't afford to pay for them. So they basically just used their magical mind and they would hand mold the wax in the image and the desire that they want. Later on, colored candles became way more accessible for the voodoo and the metaphysical community, so they would just buy the colored candle. And I myself always wonder if we lost something in that because when we had to craft a candle from beginning to end and have to put a lot of energy into it because we had to use our magical mind in every way in order to craft that candle. Whereas now, most of us think, well, I want money. I'll go out and buy a green candle. And there's not much magical energy to that, because some of us have, because of, we live in this society where everything is so mechanized. Hey, Susie, send me money. Okay, baby, I'll Zella it to you or I'll Bismo it to you. Everything is so instantaneously. Whereas when we are using things, are doing magic, we need to get ourselves off that that I don't know, what do you want to call it? That elevator of up and down and quick and easy and start slowing down and realize that even though everything in our universe is instantaneously, we have to elevate ourselves to the concept of thinking, okay, I'm going to put this energy into this and I'm going to put this energy into this. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to think about what it is I need and want. And then I know exactly, like a laser, how to put it out to the universe to get what I desire. Okay. So that's one of the reasons. Okay, that's I'm off topic in saying this. Okay, so God bless us. Earthy wise woman is being earthy wise woman this morning, going off topic. Back on topic. I want to talk about current candles that are new to the scene and what they can be used for, or how they can be used. So I'm going to show you this one. This one is one of the newer candles that I found. It's a woman bowing. Now, there are other symbols of this one where there's a couple candles and there's a man standing upright and the woman is bowing in front of him. Now, um, I am not going to give you my opinion about this candle because it's not going to always be positive. So I'm going to just tell you what this candle is for. This candle is for surrendering. And surrendering could be giving yourself over to a situation, like in this, but this candle, because it is red, it is love. So that would mean giving yourself over to someone, you know, or someone wanting you to surrender to them. Now, I'm going to tell you how to execute a candle like this. Then I'm going to tell you why it's not always a good idea to do it. Here we go. And I know I'm going to get somebody in, the comments. Well, why are you telling everybody how to use the candle? And then you're going to tell them why they shouldn't. That's just contradiction. No, it's not. I don't view it as that. I view that as knowledge. Just as much as I know how to cast black magic and dark magic, it is in my knowledge of knowing how to do it that stops me from doing it because I'm aware of it and what could be the outcome. I am more responsible in not doing it. So, that being said, how would you cast a spell with this candle? For a man who would want a woman to desire him and want him, he would carve his name into her back, down to her buttocks, carve her name into his back, into her back, and then he can carve, okay, I'm saying this wrong, carve her name into his back, carve his name on the other side, and he would then pour either come to me oil over her or rose oil over where he carved, and sprinkle rose petals, crushed up rose petals, into the names where he carved um, her name. He would crush up with the oil mixing in with it. And then before he lighted, he would say something like, surrender to me, become my woman, surrender to me. Okay? And then he would light the candle and allow it to burn. Now, that is how you would do a surrender to me candle. Now, here comes the disclaimer why it's not a good idea to light a candle like that. Here's why. When a person is surrendering to you, they're giving themselves over to you. Now, if that's their choice to give themselves over to you, okay, I get that. You know, some people want that, and that's great. Um, but if they don't want that, and if that's not what their desire, you're going against their free will, okay? And when you go against somebody's free will or desire and enforce your will on them and your desires, the spell tends to get a little, I would say, not botched, but mutated. So, in other words, you would have someone who is surrendering to you but resents you at the same time. And that can make for a bad combination. You know, you have somebody who's like, darling, I want coffee. Okay, you asshole, here's your coffee. It's not a good blend. Um, and also, you have to remember, surrendering to somebody is you're taking responsibility for every facet of them. So if they're unhappy, it's technically your fault. If they're not satisfied, it's your fault. So you're taking a very heavy responsibility when you decide to cast a surrender to me spell. Okay, that's a very serious responsibility. Now, that being said, another way this spell can be used, I would not use it in a red candle. If you were to use a white candle with a surrender, it would be someone who wants to say surrender to their passions. Like, I want to surrender myself to painting. I want to surrender myself to wisdom. I surrender myself and rid myself of these earthly desires to gain this. And in which case, to gain this meaning what they want to gain in life. They would carve on the back of the candle what it is they're surrendering to. Are they surrendering to music? Are they surrendering to, I don't know, cooking, whatever? Also, I have to say this, they can also surrender themselves to another person. So if they decide to surrender themselves to someone, they would carve that person's name in the back of the candle. Now, instead of rose petals being put there, because remember, this is a red one, but you would be doing that to a white candle. You would sprinkle more like High John the Conqueror herbs, or definitely pour High John the Conqueror oil on it. Or you can also use just holy anointing oil or Exodus oil. It's the same thing, different words. Exodus oil is holy anointing oil in different words. Okay. But remember, that is with a white candle, not a red one like this one. So That's the pros and cons of the surrender me spells. So remember, use that with some insight and some wisdom and knowledge. Okay? Please, because imposing your will on somebody is serious business. And if they don't want that and they don't desire that, the spell can twist and turn on you and be actually against you. And that you don't want that. You really don't want that. Now, on to the next candle. I found this one when I was see, I do make candles. I don't make molded candles. A lot of work. And I usually purchase them. But while I am out at metaphysical stores and botanicas, I always like to keep my eye out for the newest things. And in many cases, they don't tell you how to use these candles. So I generally have to come home, I meditate on it, think about it, um, go back to my grimoire or my book of shadows and figure out how the original root candle was used, and then figure out how the variants of that candle can be used. This is one of them. This is a skull candle. See, I think you can see. But this one is a twist on an already existing candle. Usually, a black and red candle is what they call a reversible candle. And what that is that you want to get rid of something negative or banish something negative, which is the black side, and bring in something uh, positive, which is the other side of the candle. Now, this one, believe it or not, is black and red with, and the red on this one is love. So you want to banish love. And someone's like, or, because usually a reversible candle, which is what this is, a reversible candle is usually used to reverse a negative situation. Okay. When it's red and black, that is a negative love situation. So if you want to get out of a bad relationship, you would use a reversible candle. Or let's say you divorce someone, but it's sticky, it's nasty, and you want to reverse that, but you still want to be separated from the person without all the mess. You would use a reversible candle, red and black. Now, if you were to say you want to get out of a job situation, or maybe your home life is not so good and you want to reverse that kind of situation, you would use a white and black candle, not a red and black candle. Or let's say you're having um, bad financial situations that are, you need to just get rid of the block that seems to be on your financial, like you're not making enough money. You would burn a black and green candle, because remember, black is to banish the problem and green is to bring in the money. So you're trying to reverse your negative situation. Anyway, these days reversible candles are coming in more than one color. Now, when I was a younger witch, reversible candles were just plain old black and white. Then later on, they became red and black and white and black, and that's it. But now, oh my goodness, I have seen red and black, I have seen white and black, I have seen green and black, orange, which is weird, orange and black. I've seen purple and black, blue and black. Now, all of these are to reverse one thing and to draw in another. Now, I could go down the list of what each one means, but for right now, I'm going to deal with this candle. Now, the skull candle initially was used as a representation of our ancestors because they're dead. So you would burn a skull candle in remembrance of them. However, this sort of skull candle, okay, generally a black skull candle on its own by itself is to rid yourself of someone or something negative. And you want to get rid of it, you want to get it out of the energy. Like say that, you want to banish like Fred from your life. Good name, good old fashioned name, Fred. So what you want to do is carve Fred's name on the black candle and say, Fred, be gone, get out of my life. I don't want to deal with you. And in his mind, because this is a skull, he's going to be thinking, I think I better stay away from that person. I don't feel good about this. And they stay away. Okay. And it's funny because that's why I say this to me is like a double, I guess you could say, you could call it like a double insurance this is going to end. So intellectually, let's say I have to deal with a negative person and they're driving me nuts, but this is a romantic person, like they were once my boyfriend. Um, but I want to get them off my mind, or I want them to stay out of my head. I would again burn a reversible candle like this is, because romantically, this person was a part of my life. I mean, this was my boo, as these young people say it. So what you want to do is on this side of the candle, you want to carve their name because you were romantically involved with this person. But on this side of the candle, all you want to do is just leave it blank. Just leave it blank. And with this, I would pour either High John the Conqueror oil on it or unhexing, banishing oil. Very good one. Now, the there's a difference with this sort of reversible candle than a traditional reversible candle because like I told you the original reversible candle was black on top and red on the bottom, or red on top and black on the bottom. You notice this is side and side. Now I found that fascinating because that meant that both things were going to be done at the same time, which is a little unnerving because usually when the when the red one burns first, that means okay, we got to have this romance. It's oh, and you're feeling you're going through the like the song, the way we the way we were memories, and that's the red part like the corners of my mind. So you're going to be like, oh, I remember and how great it was. But then the black one, the black part of the candle starts burning and it's, you know, I will survive. I will survive, because now you're like, I can do person. This guy was an absolute jerk. Screw him. Screw the horse his ass rode in on and it's a banishing and it's complete. But when it's side by side, you're actually going through this at the same time. So think of it like this: you're burning this candle side by side. Yeah, he was a great guy in the beginning, but he became an asshole in the end. Oh yeah, yeah, he loved me, but he doesn't love me no more because he cheated on me. You're gonna go through the whole thing, but by the time this candle's done, you're gonna because you are banishing his energy. Okay? You're banishing his energy and you're banishing him from your mind. Because you notice how sometimes after a breakup you dwell on it and you think about it. This will help that go away. Okay? Now, I don't know if this is a regional candle. I don't know if the person who decided to pour the mold is just exclusively to this one company. I have no idea. But if you should see this candle, another thing that this could also be good for is just to get rid of really bad habits that you enjoy. Like, let's say somebody loves to smoke cigarettes. Well, this would be one because you love the cigarettes, or drugs, or alcohol. Put it in your mind. I'm getting rid of this habit. I'm getting rid of this energy because you can love something so much. Well, that's what you think about. Like I've heard people say how they loved their smoking and they could only think about their next cigarette or something, or drug fix or alcohol. Same thing. Burn a candle to get it off your mind, get it out of your head. Okay? Now, another more, I don't know if you want to say nefarious, but another way you can use this candle. But remember what I said about free will. Be aware of that. You can burn this candle. Let's say there's a guy or a girl you really like, but he or she is currently in a relationship with somebody who you might feel is less than or not worthy of them, or they could do so much better. Like maybe they could be with you. What you would do is burn this candle on one side. Remember to get their current boyfriend or girlfriend or their ex boyfriend or girlfriend off their mind, and so you would put their ex's name on the black side to banish that guy or girl out of their head. And on this side, which is the love side, you would put your name so that your name would be on their mind. And the other person's name or your memory would be, you would be on their mind. And the other person's would be out of their mind. Like, forget that person. I ain't going to think about them no more. I'm going to think about them. That's another way to use that candle. So, all in all, I'm going to strongly suggest you're going to find a lot of these new, forgive my language, fangled candles in your Botanica. So, when you go home, don't just light them at once. I want you to sit down and think about what that candle can be used for, how it can be used, and how are you going to use it. And don't just use it. I want you to write it down. That's very important, guys. Write it down in your grimoire, how you're going to use it, what the candle looked for. I mean, what the candle looked like, why you were drawn to that candle, and try to write down more than one use for a candle. Okay, at least 2, 3 uses for that one candle. And nowadays, because we can use pictures and printers and such, and we can put those pictures in our grimoire or our book of shadows. Take a picture of the candle and put it in your book of shadows or your grimoire, and that way you know what the candle looked for and how you would use it magically. You would list it. And again, re-emphasizing the surrender candle and even the reversible skull candle here. Be mindful when you are casting spells to gain or get another person into your life. Be aware, be aware. Please be mindful of free will, because just because you may desire them, that does not mean they desire you. And please don't use the excuse of, well, if they knew me, they would want me, because sometimes a person can know you and they still don't want you. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's the truth. Anyway, please be mindful of all this. And as always, you guys have a blessed day. And Earthy Wise Woman here saying love and light to all of you. If I can get my mouse to work. Blessed be.